Hello, this is Marvelyn Brown. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, we're going to talk about starting a blog, and blogging is a great way for you to get your creative business online. So, we're going to talk about WordPress and we're going to also talk about Bluehost. So, let's get started, and hopefully, this video will answer some of your questions. If you're someone who has um, struggle with whether you want to build a blog, maybe you have questions, hopefully this video will answer some of those for you. So this video will answer the question, the big question, what is WordPress? And then the other question it will answer is how can you use it to monetize your hobbies and interests? So when you think about your hobbies and interests, and the reason I use that terminology is because a lot of our creative businesses have started based on a hobby or an interest. So, in my case, for example, I was interested in working with jewelry. I don't even know how I actually started. I think I saw maybe some programs on TV and started looking at YouTube videos, and I thought it would be really cool. So I started, working with clay and wire and different textures and colors. And I started making this jewelry, right? And so, when I would wear my jewelry out and about or to work or whatever, people would see it and they would want me to make jewelry for them. And so that is how my jewelry kind of took off. However, after I got into it and I got so many different, requests for jewelry, it kind of became not fun anymore. I was, working on jewelry all the time, in my spare time, just trying to keep everything going. It was nice to, number one, I was glad that people liked my jewelry. However, it was no longer fun. Like, it was fun for me when I first started making jewelry and I enjoyed it. It was therapeutic. But then after I started getting all of these orders, it was just so labor intensive. And so I was spending way too much of my time, trying to get the materials and trying to, get the designs right and making sure that, my jewelry, I wanted to make sure that it was sound, that it was high quality. And so, just going through all of that, I decided that that was not something that I wanted to continue doing. So now, when you think about WordPress, WordPress has enabled so many people to have an online presence. And so that is the reason why we have a blogging course that is free that you can take so that you can build a WordPress.org site. Now, you may have heard of WordPress, but you may not know that there are two different versions of WordPress. There's WordPress.org, which is the software version of WordPress, and then there's WordPress.com, which is the service version of WordPress. So the service version of WordPress is just a service that WordPress provides so that people can blog. So it is a blogging platform, and yes, you can create a blog there. However, that blog may not give you the functionality and the flexibility. It may not look as good, even if you buy. My experience has been, even when I bought a professional premium theme for my WordPress.com site, I could never really get it to look the way I wanted. So that flexibility just wasn't there. However, with WordPress.org, there are so many developers who create just for WordPress.org. And so there's so many tools, themes, plugins, all kinds of different products and things that can be used to make your site what you want it to be. And so for that reason, that is why I use WordPress.org. Now, WordPress is also famous for its ease of use and installation. And this is the big thing. A lot of people, when they hear the word WordPress and that it's self hosted and all of that, they think that it is very high priced. And they just don't know, they haven't done the research, so they don't know that WordPress is free. WordPress is an open source software that is free. And so the other thing that people kind of think about WordPress is that you have to be a coder or you have to have these excellent design skills. Now, back in the day, you did have to, in order to have a blog, back in the day, you would have to hire a developer, and you were pretty much at the mercy of that developer if you wanted any kind of functionality built into your site. However, today, developers make products and they push them out into the market, and some people are making free tools, some people make paid tools. And so it just depends on what you need for your site, as to whether you want to do the free or whether you want to do the paid. And so we kind of talk about some of that in the blogging course. So free versus paid, it just really depends on what you want to do. But you don't have to have coding skills or design skills in order to have an amazing blog or website. Now, we're also going to walk you through and introduce you to some free themes, some free resources, as well as some paid resources. And it will kind of be up to you to determine which one will be the best fit for your business. So, in addition to numerous economic opportunities, WordPress helps people to share their stories, their ideas, and it also helps people to build communities. So now here's some of the things that you can do with WordPress. When you think about, WordPress, it's really great no matter what niche you're in or what specialty you're in. It's also good based on, different business models. And so you can utilize WordPress to do lots of different things. And here's some of the things that, we're talking about. So you can, of course, you can blog. You can create a blog for your graphic design business. And what blogging does for a graphic design business is it helps to brand you. So if you are a graphic designer and you are working with businesses to help them with their visual, artistic requirements, you will need a blog or a web presence that will enable you to stand out from the crowd of all the other people who are graphic designers. So the same thing goes for digital products. If you are making digital products, you want to stand out. You want to have a blog and maybe a online shop that enables you to stand out from the crowd. So blogging is really great for branding. It's great for incorporating an online shop. It's good for creating courses, and we'll talk about that when we get to that level down here. But when you are a graphic designer or any of these niches, you want to stand out from the crowd. And so whether you're a graphic designer or, you make digital products, maybe you draw and paint, and a lot of artists will have their work displayed in various venues. They will have their their art displayed online. There are some places online that really specialize in showcasing art, but you also want your own site, your own real estate on the web that you own and control. And so a WordPress website will give you that ability. When you own it and you control it, that means that you are pretty much, unless you do something against the law, you are able to have complete flexibility and control over the direction of your business. So, whether you're drawing and painting or you're doing photography, jewelry, sewing, knitting, all of those niches are perfect for a blog, because a blog, again, is going to set you apart from all the other people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, now that we're at creating courses, when you create a course, think about we'll go back to the hobbies and interests that we talked about before. So if you've been interested in something, if you've had a hobby, that means that you've probably been into that hobby for a while. Whether it's months or whether it's years, you know a little something about your hobby. You know all the equipment, you know all the inside tools, you know all of um, the tips that you can provide to people. You know the things that you have done to achieve success with that hobby. And so all of that is knowledge that you can share with an audience. And so creating courses is really, it's not as hard as people might think. All of us are subject matter experts, especially when it comes to our creative talents. And so creating courses is one way that you can also use WordPress. You can use WordPress if you decide, and this is how a lot of creative people balance out, their business. So, I'll give the example of the jewelry that I was making. So my jewelry, I would put it on and go out and people would, compliment it and want me to make jewelry pieces for them. So when I would make that jewelry, it was really therapeutic. I enjoyed it. I absolutely loved it. However, as my orders, got bigger and bigger and bigger, I was having a hard time keeping up. I did not want to be making jewelry. I love making jewelry, but I didn't want to be doing that 24/7. And so, this is the thing, if you are interested in having a business that enables you to have full time or even part time income consistently, then you need something that's going to balance out your business. So that means that if you want to make jewelry, for in my case, if I want to make jewelry, every now and then and sell it to somebody, I'm not really pressured to make jewelry. You know what I mean? I can make it if I want to. I cannot make it. If I want to participate in a vendor fair, I can do that, but I don't have to. And so you want to give yourself as many options as possible. And affiliate marketing, creating courses, blogging, all of those items give you the ability to have variety and diversification in your business. You can also build an online store. So lots of people are on Etsy, and Etsy is great because it has that built-in traffic. But at the same time, they also charge you lots of fees. So you have fees to put your products on Etsy, and then you get charged when someone buys something as well. So to avoid all of those fees and to keep more money in your pocket, you can use WordPress with Woocommerce. And Woocommerce is also a free open source software that works well with WordPress. It integrates well with WordPress. And so you can, have your Etsy shop, but then you can also build an audience on your WordPress site using WooCommerce. You can set up an online store using WooCommerce, and that way you can balance out and you're not putting all your eggs in the Etsy or the Shopify basket. You have, again, something you own and something that you control. So then you can also, highlight your cooking and baking business. So if you're someone who is in the niche of cooking and baking, the great thing about having your online shop is that you can take amazing pictures, unique pictures. Google really likes it when you use your own pictures versus using those stock type pictures. And so you can take pictures of your, the items that you're cooking and the items that you bake, and you can, put them online, put them in your online shop so that people can either place orders. And we're going to talk more about, people placing pre-orders, like ordering things before you get them done. That way you can kind of manage, when people pre-order, you can manage your volume. And so we'll talk more about that in another video, but just think about, using a blog to highlight your cooking and baking business, your knitting business, your sewing business, your jewelry business, photography, and your graphic design and digital product and painting and drawing. Just think about all those things. And, maybe your creative business is not listed here, but just think about applying a blog and having a blog using WordPress that you can use to highlight whatever your creative business entails. So, the first thing you want to do, if you're interested in having a blog, we do have a blogging course that you can take. You can sign up for web hosting and a domain through Bluehost. We'll walk you through that in one of the videos, and I'll put a link to that below this video. We do have a link that helps you do that. So these are the two things that you need in order to have a blog. So to keep our videos from being super duper long, instead of, just making that video one big course, we decided to have a separate course. So you can set up your web hosting, you can set up your domain through Bluehost, and then you can take the blogging course. So we're going to walk you through, setting everything up. Now, this page, makingItRemotely.com/Bluehost, will also give you the same opportunity. So it will have the video, it'll have this video on that site, this site right here. And then you'll also have the video that walks you through setting up your domain and your hosting. Now, when it comes to your domain is the text between the www and the .com. So you get to choose the text that falls in between there. So, for example, my domain is www.makingitremotely.com. And the Making It Remotely is my domain. So makingitremotely.com is my domain. And I selected that based on the fact that I wanted to work with creative people who make things remotely. So we are making things all the time. We are very creative. We think outside the box. And so, all creative people, my goal is to help as many creative people as possible have an online presence, and not just have an online presence, but have one that helps them to earn additional income. So with your domain, here are a few tips, and these are things that I want you to think about. So you want to have 15 or fewer characters in your domain name. And the reason for that is you want people to be able to remember your site. So the more characters you ask people to type in to get to your site, the more they may get mixed up, they may get confused, they may leave off a couple of characters. So you definitely want something that is easy to pronounce, easy to spell. You want it to include your keywords. So if you are in the cooking niche, for example, you want to have keywords related to cooking. The actual specialty maybe that you are in under the cooking niche. So maybe you are helping people to meal prep. So that is your business. You do meal prep. You show them the equipment that they need to do meal prep. You show them how to meal prep. You show them maybe some foods that are healthy, that people can put together quick meals really quickly and get dinner on the table every single day without having to stress about food. So you want to include some of those keywords. You want to be niche specific if possible. And you also want to use .com when possible. People are used to seeing .com. So that is the extension that you want to use for your site if it's available. You want to avoid hyphens in your domain name. You want your domain to be unique and brandable. So there again, we talked about how blogs are really good at helping you to brand yourself. So if you want to brand your name, if you're Susie Johnson, you can do susiejohnson.com. If you are into, meal prep, maybe you want meal prep to be in your domain. Maybe no matter what you do, you want to have those specific keywords that make your site stand out from the crowd. The other thing that you want to avoid is double letters, because double letters can be confusing as well. So when you sign up for Bluehost, you're going to get a free domain registration with any of the hosting plans that you select. So that's one of the great things that you can do with Bluehost. So now, what I would recommend is that you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification so that you will be notified when we post out new videos. And we're going to show you how to get your creative business online. Now, blogging is only one way. However, I think having a blog as your central hub is really a great idea. Even if you add a YouTube channel or a podcast or an online shop, you want to have a blog as your central hub, and you want to, just kind of draw all of your traffic into your blog. And as you go through the course, if you decide to take the course, you will really, it'll be more clear to you why you want to do that. You're going to also learn about active and passive income, and not just active and passive income, but actually, how active and passive income can help you to build on your interest. So that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping that I will see you in the next video, or that I will see you in the course. So have a good day. Bye-bye.